There is a controversial video coming out of Humble, Texas involving Officer John Cox. He appears to assault this man, then shoves his head into the ground as a fellow officer helps pin him. The officers bring the man to his feet, but photos would show the brute nature of this exchange. Click 2 Houston wrote Cox took a swing at the man and knocked him to the ground after he himself called 911. This may be one of the worst ones I've seen. That's so blatantly wrong, said Todd Overstreet, the attorney for Christopher Hanna. Hanna would spend 19 hours in jail. The initial police report wrote, and I quote, "At no time did the officer strike the suspect, and it was determined the injuries suffered by the suspect were caused solely by the altercation in which he was involved prior to Officer Cox's arrival." That was from Humble Police Chief Ken Tice. I truly do not know how many more examples we need before the public realizes police will lie to cover for themselves. Hanna's attorney said they must be talking about a completely different officer, or they didn't watch the video, he said. They had to have known at that point, since they secured the scene, that he had no weapons. He wasn't a threat to them in any way. This kind of nonsense is why they have an image problem, Overstreet said. ABC 13 wrote, in the last week, Eyewitness News reported on Chris Hanna's police brutality claim when he was detained outside of a bar on June 24th. Hanna, through his attorney, Overstreet, claimed Officer Cox hit him almost like an uppercut with handcuffs in his hand, quote, almost like brass knuckles. Cox at the time was responding to reports of a shooting, which Hanna admitted to committing in self-defense. The police department has not responded to KPRC2's questions about how long the officer has been with the department or if he faced any discipline related to the incident. The incident with Officer Cox is being classified by former Houston police officer and now lawyer Tom Nixon as an arrest tactic used during a case of non-compliance. Why they would ascribe non-compliance to this is befuddling to me. No, he's not exactly complying with what the officer's instructions are. So when he fails to comply, again, we don't know this to be true. These are all assumptions. And he tries to take a step back to make distance, which it appears he did not. The officer has to start thinking, is this guy about to run away on me? Nixon said. It doesn't even look like he punched him in the face. It looks like he hit him in the collarbone, which is what he was aiming for in order to shift his body weight to take him to the ground. My goodness, that is a lot. I have directed Chief Tice to release the body cam footage as well as the 911 calls to KPRC in relation to the arrest of Mr. Hanna for aggravated assault with a deadly weapon in an incident that occurred at Lloyd's Bar on June 24th. Based upon my review of the videos, it does not appear to me that Officer Cox used unnecessary force to effectuate the arrest. Meanwhile, Hanna's lawyer followed up with KPRC2 and said that Hanna was knocked unconscious by Cox but didn't even know it until he woke up in police custody. After Hanna discharged his weapon, 5 911 audio recordings surfaced with calls from 4 witnesses and Hanna. In his call, Hanna asserts that he witnessed something he shouldn't have seen and that he was getting jumped, prompting him to grab his firearm from his truck. If this is true, the police have a lot of questions to answer.